This is an historical event, both for Monroe County and the great state of Alabama. Much work has been done in a short period of time to make this symposium a reality.
It is my pleasure, as the governor of the great state of Alabama, to declare the Alabama China Partnership Symposium open.
It's that kind of caring, committed leadership that changes lives, that creates world-class manufacturing operations, that has brought the world's two largest economies to Alabama Southern Community College this morning. And it's that kind of caring, committed leadership that changes the world.
And I expect that my business connections to China will be enhanced and enlarged at this conference and in its aftermath.
Because of the current climate, there's a lot of China bashing going on. But from our point of view, there's a lot of misunderstanding. We believe, as Dr. Brzezinski has said, George has said, this is a win-win relationship. This relationship is probably more important than any other relationship for our generation, for our children's generation.
Raymond asked for my support to bring Chinese investors to Alabama. I said to myself, this guy is crazy. We are not crazy. We are all here today because it is the right thing to do at the right time and in the right place. One of my colleagues told me that in the next 3 years, over 30% of Chinese companies in the private sector will set up distribution network overseas, and 25% of them will establish branches overseas, and around 50% will build a factory abroad.
Now, especially during the last 2 or 3 years, after China entered into WTO, we're beginning to see the change of tide, which is Chinese companies, after receiving investment, in China, now beginning to come out to do business in the US. And just recently, we have so many Chinese companies, our clients in China, made inquiry to us, about acquisition, about starting greenfield investment, everything, many things. Our job, I think, is to educate our clients in China and disseminate information to them and help them to do business in the United States and Alabama.
I would hope that it would be the first case of two more or less symmetrical powers being able to coexist and cooperate.
If you have to succeed, you have to be in the United States. There's a song that says, if you can make it in New York City, you can make it anywhere. If you can make it in the United States, you can make it anywhere.
We are searching for the opportunity to invest in Alabama. The cultural gap between these two countries is a lot.
We need to speak English. We are quite confident we may even can have a better operation results than what we are doing in China.
I think in order to do business in the United States, you need to speak the way Americans understand. We should focus on communication. So if you want to do business, you have to act as locally and try to plug into the local community. And so that's very important. Another important part of communication is also communication with the Chinese side. Because now we're talking about a Chinese company investing in the United States in Alabama. It's very important that you also make sure your headquarters in China, the executives in China also understands what's going on here.
Alabama is different than the rest of the country. The political leaders in the retirement system try to be your partner.
Please notice his tie today's Golden Dragon. Yeah, you're going to buy a lot of ties with all the different logos coming to.
China's companies have got to come to the United States because these companies or these captains of industry don't want to be captive of the politics of China or the captive of the United States' politics. By doing what was presented earlier, by putting companies in other parts of the world, you basically are protecting your market.
And what really makes you successful, quite frankly, and what I feel sets this state aside from others, the workers. Everybody that you hire when you come here, they call it their company too. But folks, it's good to have those clashes because we learn about each other that way. Presence in the U.S. opens up the whole market.
The answer is yes.
That's what I said, David.
When we see an opportunity, we take it. And when we don't see an opportunity, we create one.
One of our best asset is our workforce, and it is a good workforce.
There's nothing more important in the state of Alabama than creating jobs.
Literally, Alabama, if you look at it, is more diversified as a state than it has ever been.
Where we are one of the most pro-business, pro-investment states of any in the nation.
如果中国和美国它的地域不一样的话，又通过什么来解决？第一个又看天，第二个又通过人来沟通。
There's a question and answer card. There'll be several different sessions during the day that you'll have an opportunity to submit those. So know that those are there. There's also a card with the word commitment on it. This is not Sunday church. We're not asking for anybody to come down and make a tithe. But you will have an opportunity to use that card in a later session as well.
So Alabama has a unique partnership, and we cut across all of those boundaries for one common goal, and that is to move our state forward.
Alabama will come on the top on the priority list for our recommendation.
希望再提供2个实习的机会给阿拉巴马的大学生。
所以今天我也产生了一个新的梦想，那就是有一天我要在阿拉巴马州创办一个自己的企业。
I have a dream. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted.
It is not blindness.
It is not blindness or deafness that bring me my darkest hours.
Alabama, they win the BCS championship. Fans on their feet. Win for the win. Let's see.
逢山开路，遇水搭桥。敢问路在何方？路在脚下。
But the point is, just like any entrepreneur, it is possible to penetrate, these markets. They are a market just like any other market. We just have to be a little clever, a little entrepreneurial in accessing, these markets.
For an artist, that's sort of the thing that we fear the most, is to not be able to express. For our generation, one of the things that are important to us is to what reason, why? Why, that there has to be more meaning to life.
This is always the case wherever I go. They always think, I'm from China, I must be a businessman.
Generally, people would like to see you study finance or other business management, then they will think you can make more money.
And if we can put things into such a historical perspective, I just think that we can understand our situation better.
I'm telling our friends from China that if they come to the state of Alabama, they will have some people in the workforce that have a genuine appreciation for that job.
The road to Alabama leads straight through Monroeville.
I'm on the road to Alabama.
It's actually the people that interest me the most.
Oh, Lord, we just want to thank you.
But if you have a serious problem of business investment and you want to come to America and there's a problem there, I'm able to call them and encourage them to find that paperwork, get it moving, and get it done in a timely fashion, and I'll do that.
我昨天跟大家交流，也感觉很多企业其实也很有兴趣来美国这个经商，包括投资，也包括做贸易。不管是做哪一方面，我个人的理解的话呢，也是跟在中国一样，是需要跟这个美国的政界搞好关系。 从这一点来讲的话呢，其实今天 Sessions 的这个到来，事实上是一个非常宝贵的交流机会。
So think about that as communities are here beyond the one we're standing in, is first impressions really do count.
Especially in the coastal areas, Guangdong province and other provinces, the local governments, the provincial governments in China are really, going to great length trying to simplify the process and kind of to encourage people to come out.
Come to Alabama, and people work with you. The workers, the government work with you, and that could make a huge difference.
I really have to hire a lawyer, and to what extent do I need a lawyer?
I grew up in this district that I represent. I am so honored and humbled every day to have the opportunity to represent my home district in Congress.
Because we want them to have an ease of use in doing business with the state of Alabama.
Make sure that the graduates of those programs and the completers of those programs are going to have the education base that they need.
Making yourself different and wearing Christmas tree shirts and so forth.
You can set yourself apart and kind of shine.
Matter of fact, if you don't believe it takes a lot of hard work, look at these 3 mayors up here. They're all bald-headed, okay?
Our city and our county, and then all the mayors in Alabama and Southwest Alabama are working together to bring in industry.
Access to capital was almost non-existent, and so the EB-5 world provided loans and at a lower rate for companies that desperately needed it.
And that will enable us to provide low-cost financing to industrial projects here in the state of Alabama.